Virtual Racing School was developed to provide support to the next generation of sim racers. No matter if you're a rookie or veteran or what car or track you'll be racing, our goal is to provide training every step of the way. We found that iRacing can be quite difficult without proper training. There needed to be a way to prepare for on-track racing. With VRS, you can literally learn from the best sim racers in the world, including 4-time NASCAR iRacing World Champion Ray Alfalla.
And Ray Alfalla is a 4-time champion of the NASCAR Peak Antifreeze iRacing Series.
3-time iRacing Grand Prix World Champion Martin Kroenke.
Martin Kroenke becomes a 3-time world champion.
Rallycross World Champion Mitchell de Jong.
Mitchell de Jong is now champion for the iRacing Rallycross World Championship Series.
And many other top sim racers. Data packs include everything you need to start learning. Our World Championship coaches create the data packs by setting a hot lap or a series of fast laps for you to compare, analyze, and replicate. Data packs also include a tutorial where the coach points out techniques they use to hit the fast lap. This gives you access to the latest driving techniques and setups before you even hit the track. Sign up for a free account and download the VRS telemetry logger. With this application running seamlessly in the background, your laps automatically start syncing to the VRS website. From there, you can analyze and compare 2 laps of your choice, whether it's your data, the coaches, or your teammates. VRS will automatically target improvement opportunities so you can get up to speed even faster. VRS also makes it easy for you to request and schedule one-on-one or group coaching sessions. These sessions can range from 30 to 90 minutes, and you can select the car, track, and setup combination of your choice. Visit virtualracingschool.com today to sign up and get started.
Yes, it's brilliant to be here at Laguna Seca. It's well, we were talking a little bit before we came on air about the good old days of Gran Turismo, and it was Gran Turismo that really cemented this circuit in my mind, at least. And what a wonderful layout it is. And as you mentioned, very, very technical, a really fickle challenge. It's like you say, it's not going to be necessarily about the aerodynamic draft like we've had before, but really it's all going to come down to who can drive a clean race, because Laguna Seca is super tough, and if you make a mistake, you will be punished severely. So it's all going to be about who keeps a cool head in the Californian sunshine.
Absolutely, it's easy to make mistakes around this place, and it's really tricky to nail a lap, despite the fact that this is a free circuit and these drivers have done, I'm sure, many laps. As you say, Gran Turismo used to have a 4-hour race, I think, on the special events on Gran Turismo 5 was the race, and I put in a lot of laps around here, I can assure you. Yeah, I'm sure these drivers will still be struggling to get up to speed, but we are currently in qualifying, and the first few times are being put in. And Pablo Lopez, currently the championship leader. It's not the leader in qualifying though, it's Kike Ming, who has had an up and down form. He's 3rd place in the championship. Ming though with provisional pole. You can see those top 2 quite far ahead. Halliburton moves up into 3rd place. I've kind of said it for the whole season, Peter, that I always think Kane is the fastest driver. I'm not sure if that's properly true or not, but he always seems to just have that edge in the race. He never seems to be holding anyone up. He always seems to be trying to move forwards. But so far, only 1 race win out of 4. He's got a bunch of podiums besides that. But once again, he's just 1.3 tenths of a second off pole. And, well, that's kind of the differences which have denied him a few more race victories so far this season.
Indeed, it has. I mean, we thought he had it in the bag at Phillip Island, but it was Verlinda who played it very, very clever, sitting behind Lopez and Halliburton, just watching what they were doing and keeping his powder dry to when it really mattered, when the points were handed out. But Kane Halliburton, he's been the guy. I think your comment's accurate there about the guy who's just got that slight edge on everyone else. If you were to make that distinction, because he's the guy that's been consistently there all the time, and that's what it's all about. But Kiki Ming, well, we know he's a streaky driver. He qualified very far down at Phillip Island and charged through the pack. He's sitting on pole position right now. Kane Halliburton improves with his second flying lap, but does not take the pole from Kiki Ming. So we've got Kiki Ming with the Tom Christensen throwback livery, or he normally does anyway. We'll see what he's got for us tonight. But that's an amazing start to this race, and shows you that Laguna Seca is a track that different challenge to what we've seen so far.
Yeah, it's an epic lap for Ming. This is going to be his first pole of the season, unless someone can do something spectacular. Kynan was definitely off the track around the third and final corner there, so we'll pick up a 1x and invalidate his lap times. Peter Verlind, last time he won at Phillip Island, he got a good start to move up into third place, held in the slipstream of Halliburton and Lopez, got the race lead, and then Halliburton made a mistake, and Lopez also made a mistake when battling for the race win. This could be strong here for Verlind. A few personal best sectors. He just wants to be on the front 3 rows, preferably, but it's quite far away from that. It's 11th position for Verlind, and the man hoping to keep up his form from last time out, just struggling to back that one up. He falls about 8/10 off pole position, which is about the same distance as he was back at Phillip Island. It's just a bit closer for this meeting, a bit more of a competitive field. We've had about 120 drivers sign up for this split, and so that means that there's about 6 splits going on. This is the top one, and so you've got to have a very good iRating in order to get in here. 4.5 thousand iRating, the average of these drivers. As pretty much all the drivers are across the line. In fact, yeah, everyone has set their 2 lap times. Actually, John Aldridge hasn't. And John leaving it till last. He wants a little bit of screen time. We haven't seen John all season long. He just needs to make sure he keeps it within the track limits. He's currently not set a lap time as John, so he needs to get on with it. Let's see where he can put himself on the grid. He is the penultimate seed for the drivers out there.
He is, yeah, but still an iRating of well over 3,000. If you're new to sim racing or the iRacing platform, first of all, welcome to the Radical Racing Challenge here on Apex Racing TV. The iRating, I always liken it to the golf handicap. If you have a good round, your handicap improves, and if you have a bad round, it gets worse. And iRating works exactly the same way. If you have a good result, it goes up, and if you have a bad result, it goes down. And it also depends on the standard of drivers that you're racing against. So if you have a lot of drivers who are better than you on iRating in a competition, and you finish quite high up the order, you get a nice big handy boost. So, and that is how, to me, Sam, it's an excellent system. There'll be some who aren't a fan of it, I'm sure, but I have to say I think it's an excellent way of making sure everyone's got a competitive race.
Yeah, the criticisms of it have kind of come from people saying that it should be based on car. You know, one driver might be good in, say, this Radical, but then that pace may not be the same in an MX-5 or a Formula 1 car, for example. But I think you're right. I think it's a very good system. I think the way it's calculated is very good. And yeah, it's pretty important when you get down to the special events and when you're trying to qualify for these top splits for the broadcast, because these are where the points are really counted up, and with such a fragile car, even if you are seeded last, you could potentially get a nice haul of points. So yeah, it is important, and some absolutely terrific drivers out on the grid tonight. And we can bring you through your grid then for tonight's meeting, and it's Kike Ming for the first time this season on pole position. His form's been a bit up and down, lightning fast at Interlagos. He looks back to his best tonight. Kane Halliburton lies up in second place. Then it's Danny Calvo, who we haven't seen too much of this season. Pablo Lopez, championship leader, lines up in fourth. Then it's Erin Barber, Andre Fusini, Yone Kainen, Cedric Krolich, Ant Castles, Paul Crabb, Peter Verlind, Michael Reinhardt lines up in 12th. Then it's Ruben Rodriguez, Cesar Luis, Filippo Golen, Sam Sanders, Robert Woodward, Daniela Fada, Andreas Friedrich, Dennis Kyriakopoulos, Eric Hanoi, John Aldridge, and Johannes Hesterman, rounding out the 23 drivers. Just got a few of the front runners to get on the grid. But can we expect too many overtakes, you think, Peter? I know this isn't going to be particularly draft heavy, but are we expecting a few overtakes for the lead during the race, or do you think the first overtake might be decisive?
Well, I think you've got to take your opportunities on lap 1. When people are on cold tyres, that's when the real opportunities to move forward are going to be. And you've got to take advantage of that because we've got such a high standard field here. When they're all up to tyre temperature and they're all moving, they're on such an even playing field, it's going to be tough.
And the lights are illuminating then. It's Ming and Halliburton on the front row of the grid. The green flag is out. It's a brilliant start for Halliburton. Spin right in the background, but Halliburton storms into the lead immediately off the line. Ming having to defend from Lopez, who is storming around the outside. They're all very slow on the inside of the circuit. I think there's going to be a bit of contact. There has been some contact with Golin and Rodriguez further down the road. They've gone off the track. Lopez still trying to make that move stick, and that is an important move for the Spanish driver. As off into the wall is Fusini and Barber. They started up in 5th and 6th on the grid, I believe. So that's a couple of big drivers straight away falling down the order. So the top 4 still the same top 4 as they were from the start, but behind that there has been plenty of change, particularly Fada and Friedrich gaining 6 places each off this start.
Look at Peter Verlinde from qualifying outside of the top 10. He's making the moves. He's making hay when the sun shines here. Up towards the corkscrew they go. The world's most famous corner. They go. Oh, he goes too wide. Oh, no. Be careful. Well, just about got away with it there, Sam. Lost it on the brakes. It's such a horrible braking zone into the corkscrew. He's got a tiny bit of damage at the back. Nothing too much to worry about there for Peter Verlinde, but he'd done all the hard work on the cold tyres, made the most of it, a little bit like Kane Halliburton and Lopez have done, breaking away at the front. But I tell you what, one thing that surprising me there, Sam, is how much of an how much, even on that short front straight, how much the draft is still playing a factor.
Yeah, managing to drag up slightly there was Lopez, and certainly after that gap opening up, so about half a second initially, he got it back down to 0.3 of a second going into turn 2, and I'm sure that these guys will stay close to the end of the race. Ming in the tow, and Calvé still pretty close, kind of just track extending a bit in the background. You can see he's slightly out of draft range, but has got a handy gap behind him. Just wonder if we could maybe try to find the first lap instant for, I think it was Ruben Rodriguez down at turn 2, who lost quite a bit of time down at the Andretti hairpin. And in fact, we are going to try to find some of these instants. There is Rodriguez. So they were so slow on the inside. Halliburton was really careful on the grids because he had track position. And then, there was someone, the 21 car of Filippo Golin, who just misjudged it and skated across the inside and took out a few drivers.
Oh, that was a proper 10-pin bowling job there. Oh, dear. Was that, I think it was, no, it wasn't Aaron Baba. It was, what happens to him, though? Is he coming up into turn 3 here? Does he, nothing he could do there. Driver in front just got a bit of a twitch moment. And that is so disappointing there for Aaron Baba. We know he's super quick in this car. A lot of big names taken out early, Sam, and it just shows you here at Laguna, you don't even have to make a mistake to hit trouble, but it's Kane Halliburton showing what he's capable of at the front, and Lopez really trying to just hang on to his coattails right now. It looks to me like they're dropping Kiki Ming, and I know what's holding Kiki Ming back, Sam. He's not got the Tom Christensen livery on, it seems.
Well, it's his own fault, isn't it? Come on, man. Get your act together. And he's got Calvé right on his tail. And Calvé, he would maybe be looking to work together with the driver ahead, not wanting to lose too much time. But when they are losing time anyway to the top 2, you just got to make the move. So Calvé making some shapes behind, just opening up the corner slightly. I think this move will surely be done quite soon. Sanders with a little bit of an issue. He's falling down the order. Now it's back at the corkscrew at the moment. So Sanders, unfortunately down into 13th place. But that was Ming just running wide. And here comes Calvé. This is going to be a good chance for him down into the Andretti hairpin. He's closing. and well, he just glitched out slightly then. I'm just wondering if maybe he wasn't picking up the draft for a fraction of a second. If it weren't for that, maybe he could have got a bit closer. These two now 1.2 seconds behind the leaders. That's still within draft range, but it's clear that the draft isn't strong enough to keep them up with those drivers. So Calvo really needs to pass immediately if he's got any chance of this race.
Yeah, this is really, really difficult for Danny Calvo because Kike Ming in front is having obviously a little bit of internet connection issue, which can happen from time to time, and it makes the car blink back and forward. And it's I always liken it to snoring, Sam, because Kike Ming will have no idea that his car is doing that. He'll just be driving along as normal, but to everyone else around him, it's rather annoying. It's a bit like snoring.
Yeah, that's a good analogy. It's very good. Eric Hanoi. I just thought, was Hanoi in ARLTC yesterday? I didn't think he was. We've got a lot of Norwegians now in, and whenever I see one of the alternative characters as a British individual, a Norfolk individual, which is even worse, it wonders me. So I kind of think they're the same. But Hanoi out here in 17th place, he's gonna lose a place. They runs wide. He's got quite a bit of damage on the back of that car. We saw a lot of that down at Spa, where drivers were picking up loads of rear damage. We were questioning how on earth they picked that up, but it's kind of just maybe visual damage, doesn't necessarily affect you a bit. Hanoi does seem to be struggling quite a bit. Maybe he was caught up in that first lap incident. Fada now moves past into 20.
He got a bump from Verlinda just on that last lap ago there, Sam, in the corkscrew, just under brakes. A little bit of a nudge, but enough. Of course, these cars, they are wafer thin and they are fragile. They're like tracing paper. Just need the slightest a change in the wind would damage one of these cars. That's what makes them so quick. So you got to be very, very careful in combat. But actually, these cars just wonderfully agile and positive with the steering. And for a circuit like Laguna Seca with so many changes of direction, they are an absolute joy and of reasonably decent aerodynamics as well. You've got a big rear wing on the back there, and this was actually a circuit where aerodynamics was shown to the racing world. In 1966, Jim Hall took his then very revolutionary Chaparral to compete in the Can-Am series and did rather well with it too.
Yeah, and as we might have a change of position here with Crab. Kind and slightly closing line. Apologies, it's Krolic. And Krolic, I think that was bad news, but I don't think Crab would be too happy with that one. Yeah, so that sprung to my mind when we were talking about Gran Turismo earlier on, and it's the car with like the washing machine. I always thought it was a washing machine on the back of the car, or maybe the second edition had the washing machine. Very unique car. I think what's that ground effect? It was kind of sucking it to the ground, wasn't it? Was that
that was the idea. Yes, that was the idea. The thing is, it had a then very, very impressive racing automatic gearbox. And that the drivers did say, Bob Bondurant drove it, and he said, yeah, it would be a great car if it wasn't for that stupid automatic gearbox.
No automatics in these cars. Six gears, I believe, in these machines, and Crab needs all of them in order to catch up to Krolic.
Indeed, yeah, it's good to have that close ratio 6-speed box. It's a sequential shifter. You can see it there just to the left of the driver's arm. And yeah, you need it to rattle it on. You've got to try and keep this engine on the boil. It's actually would you believe it? It's a V8 made out of 2 Suzuki Hayabusa motorcycle engines, where the radical engineers merge them together and create their own race engine. 2.6 litre in this model. The newer one has 2.7 litres, but 2.6 litres, 380 horsepower, and not too much weight at all. 650 kilograms, just a little bit more than a modern day Caterham 7, and that is light. So no wonder these cars are so fast.
And by the way, this is a fixed setup series. Everyone's running the same setup, so identical cars out there for everyone. Although there is a different setup for each track. I was just watching on board there down the pit straight, and of course really using all of the really getting to the rev limiter in 6th gear by the end of the straight. So it is a specific setup for each of the circuits. and certainly the community over the season gave plenty of feedback, so they're to a pretty good standard by now. You know, they're capable for the top drivers. You know, they're close to what the top drivers would be using, but also pretty good for beginners. So certainly the Radical Racing Challenge, one of the best series to race on in iRacing if you're a new driver, because you don't have to pay for any setup databases or learn how to do setups. You can just jump straight into the car and yeah, away you go.
Absolutely, and I think that's one of the great things about iRacing is that if you've got an irregular schedule and you think, oh, I can't commit to a championship, don't worry, you can do the official races, just roll up. It's like when at some of our local golf clubs here, Sam, you have the Saturday morning roll up where sort of whoever turns up gets split up into groups and off you go. It's very much the same thing. It's really friendly, and come and have a go. Although the racing can sometimes be far from friendly, sometimes can be quite aggressive.
Yeah, I tend to mute the voice chats as well.
I do.
Try to stay away from that as much as possible. Just seen Sam Sanders with the livery I've got. He's got Apex Racing plastered all over it, which is brilliant. I know there's the old race spot thing of, oh, it brings you 10 brake horsepower. We're honest, it doesn't bring you any horsepower, but it does bring you favoritism, and that's worth a lot more. So, oh, we got Verlind has spun in the back when he wasn't having a strong race, was Verlind after getting caught up on the first lap, and that has not helped his cause. He's slightly tapped the barrier, I think, a bit, not too much damage on that car. Yeah, from the win to, well, he's almost last out of the runners.
Yeah, not been a good day for Peter Verlinde, not able to repeat the heroics of Phillip Island. Quite a different circuit here, a little bit more short and kind of fickle and a little bit quirkier, whereas the Phillip Island you can really let this car sing and float along. And not the day, but plenty of the season left to go. 5 rounds into this 12-round championship. Yeah, brilliant stuff there from the number 20 car of Sanders, representing the Apex Racing Academy, which if you want to go faster in iRacing, and let's be honest, who doesn't want to go faster, you can get involved and get setup information for all the different cars here on iRacing, and also get tuition from, well, recent, now double Tag Heuer Porsche Esports Super Cup race winner Kevin Ellis Jr., a fellow Scotsman no less, Sam.
Yeah, you may be convincing them to join, not getting them to turn away. Sorry. But yeah, go to Apex Racing Academy for all of that. ApexRacingAC.com for all of those data packs, and of course there for the IR01, for example, along with the Porsche Cup car as well, and loads of other cars, GT3s, GTEs, Rallycross cars, absolutely everything. So certainly do check out ApexRacingAC.com for all of that. We kind of got Woodward defending. Just trying to keep back Dennis, whose name I'm just trying to think again, because I was adding about five syllables to it last time out. So I will take my time in announcing it next time. But Dennis currently very close. Sanders doing well as well. He's caught up to the back of these guys. Half a second faster on that last lap was Sanders, so might be passed quite soon.
Absolutely, yeah. He's certainly on the boil, and I would think we'd just call him Dennis. Dennis in the number 18 car, Kyriakopoulos.
Kyriakopoulos.
Ah, nice and easy. Now back at the front, Kane Halliburton just edging a fraction here or there, but this gap has been relatively stagnant for most of the race. We've gone past half distance now, and Lopez is able to just get right onto the gearbox. Now, Sam, is the aerodynamic wake or the dirty air coming out the back in front, is that something that the drivers have to worry about or not?
Well, yeah, I was just thinking of the same thing. It'd be great to have an interview with the drivers afterwards about that, because that does seem to be what's happening with Lopez at the moment, because he can see those times there, it's kind of go up a little bit, go down a bit, but it's always maintaining at between 7 and 9 tenths of a second. It seems like once you get within that 7 tenths, just the wake just becomes too much, and that's worrisome. If you can't get within 7 tenths of a second, then what hope are you going to have at overtaking? We have seen relatively little overtaking so far. Of course, Calve's still stuck behind Ming, so maybe Lopez just struggling to get a whole lot closer. Will gain a bit of time down this pit straight, going into the Andretti hairpin, and he does get the gap down to less than 0.7 of a second, and takes out another 10th from the race leader. So Lopez with a slight momentum at the moment, as here comes Calve. That was plenty of momentum. Had to lock up the brake, and just as we saw earlier on, the outside driver just moving slightly to the inside. It's a very wide turn in there, and you kind of can square off the corner by taking quite an early apex, and that can quite often cause issues and quite a bit of movement under braking, just for drivers taking the race in line.
Yeah, the turn 1, the Andretti, or turn 2 actually, in fact, it's known as the Andretti hairpin. Very, very tricky corner, but there's a lot of different lines you can take. So that I think that variety of lines does allow there to be a little bit of shuffling as they go up the Rehal straight up towards the world famous corkscrew, and then down the hill, down Rainy Curve. So some absolutely iconic names from American motorsport. Rainy, a triple motorcycle world champion. Bobby Rahal, Indy 500 winner, and very successful sports car driver as well, won Sebring and Daytona. And then, of course, Mario Andretti. Well, I don't even need to introduce him, do I? How do you possibly give that man the credit he's due?
Yes, yeah, absolute legend of the motorsports world. As Calve's going to go for it again. This time, Ming comes to the inside, and again a lock up for Calve. There's a little bit of tyre wear in these cars, so he does need to be slightly careful. But whilst Ming isn't running your favourite livery, Peter, I do still quite like Kike's livery. It looks a bit like a comic book almost, very pop-hearty.
Yeah.
It looks very cool.
Yeah, there's a JW on the front of it. I'm presuming that doesn't mean John Wyer Automotive of the Gulf GT40 and Porsche 917 fame. I'm presuming it's not. That would be amazing if it was.
Well, hopefully we get a chat with him later on. He did come for a chat a couple of weeks ago, I think, in PK. So hopefully we'll see him again. Lopez has made a mistake. He's 3 seconds off the lead. So Ming's all of a sudden closed up quite a bit, so that is a mistake from Lopez. And a respite for Halliburton, who looks well on course for a second race win of the season. It's not there, but this kink here is so often a place of a mistake. He takes too much curb and was very lucky, because so easy to spun just on the curb, and then could have easily spun as well when he got on the grass. But he stayed in second place. He will need some mistakes from Halliburton. I doubt that is going to happen. So yeah, Lopez pushing so hard trying to catch up to Halliburton, and that's the area that's come from.
Yeah, you feel like this one's kind of been in the post for Kane Halliburton for quite a while, but it's been a really, really solid drive from the driver of the number 2 machine today. And actually now Lopez has got to worry about falling into the clutches of Kike Ming and also Calvo as well. And we have seen it though, Sam, haven't we, with Kike Ming? He really does come on strong at the end of the race, it seems. So Lopez got his hands full here.
Yeah, so far since that mistake from Lopez, that gap has kind of come down just a little bit. So yeah, you're absolutely right. Maybe Ming could launch an assault near the end. Of course, Calve will be regretting not passing Ming earlier on, because if he had done, then maybe he would have been a little bit up the road and would have been in a better place to profit any mistakes from Lopez. This is looking very tasty. We've got Krolich at the front of this, Crab just behind. Remember when Crab very nearly got past, hasn't really got close ever since then. And then Reinhardt, Castles, and now Friedrich, who is sprinting along, is Andreas Friedrich. Started down in 19th place, so clearly wasn't a representative qualifying time. And if Friedrich had put in a representative qualifying time, I think he'd probably be ahead of all these drivers, but he's the fastest of all of them at the moment. 18.0 on that last lap. Did lose a little bit to be fair to Krolich, but a couple of laps ago he was in the mid-17s and gaining by about half a second. Mistake, it seems, from Sam Sanders. I wonder if he's gone straight on at the corkscrew here. Has been at the back of this train for a while, and actually he has made contact with Kyriakopoulos out there. And yeah, now one driver between them, Bada between us, so that is a shame for tennis.
He'll be getting detention at the Apex Racing Academy for that one.
Up to our normal antics.
So we've got 4 laps to go here at Laguna Seca. And we were just mentioning the Andretti family there, Sam. I just heard the news today that young Marco Andretti, the grandson of Mario Andretti, will not be racing in IndyCar this year. Will be just doing the Indy 500 only. So talk about pressure under one race. It's going to be, of course, should have won it really in 2020. And strange to not see the Andretti name full-time in IndyCar in 2021.
Yeah, jumping in for, so we might have a change here for, contact between the two, and once again moving in the braking zone, and Castles is the one who moves past it, and Friedrich is going to get past Reinhardt as well, who fought for that place for so long, and then he's quite quickly lost it all back down to 10th place. But yeah, you're absolutely right, putting a lot of pressure on yourself to just do that one race. I mean, has anyone ever just done the Indy 500
regularly
and skipped the rest of the season and actually gone and won it? Because it does seem quite a disadvantage.
That's a good trivia question. Has anyone done just the Indy 500 and won it? Obviously, there's plenty of drivers who just do the Indy 500, or in history that's certainly been the case. But that's a very good. Now that is a pub quiz question and a half, Sam Fitzpatrick. We'll have to go away and do our homework on that one.
Absolutely. It's a trivia right there. Crab making a mistake, it seems, and he got Castles right on his tail. Now Krolic is now 3 seconds ahead of these drivers. So the issue for Reinhardt, and then the mistake from Crab, it allowed Krolic to scamper away up into 6th place. Krolic up in 5th place, I believe, in the overall championship. Reminder that there's loads of spots, loads of races across the week. There's 12 races a day, 1 every 2 hours, and of course 7 days in a week. So that's a lot of races, 84 races. But this one, because it's got all the top drivers, and this is where the points are dished out, so you may as well think of it as just this race. If any of the drivers do particularly badly, then they can do one of the other races. But certainly whoever wins this race is going to win the week. So it is very important for the championship on that front. Halliburton's gap's gone from 3 seconds down to 1.4 seconds. I imagine he's doing what he did at Interlagos and just really cruise in the final few laps. But he's just tempting Lopez at the moment, I think, and just saying, come on, mate, come on, catch up. But we'll probably have enough to win by the end of the race with 2 laps to go.
Yeah, I think just controlling the advantage, not wanting to take any risk, because you really do not need to step over the line much here at Laguna, and you will be severely punished. Of course, all kind of dusty surface as well, so if you run off, it's really, really difficult to get back going again sometimes. So you see Robert Woodward trying to hold off Sanders in the number 20 car. Also saw Friedrich there in 9th place, having a massive look at Castles going down into the Andretti hairpin. You just saw I love it on iRacing, how it simulates the temperature in the brakes, and you'll see it here. The brakes glow bright orange as they come hard into turn 1. Fantastic stuff.
Sanders getting that move done in the end. So that was good on Sanders, because obviously he had the issue with Kyriakopoulos, and then has been able to make back that gap, and has passed Sanders. And of course, apologies past Woodward. Of course, no post-race stewarding. This is just an official race, so they won't have any penalty. You might be saying, well, why don't they punt them all off? Well, it'll cause quite a bit of damage for your car, and it's not really in the spirit of things. But it is certainly, you can still yield some points from it, and you'll, I think all these guys are in a radical discourse, so I think they'd get a little bit of harsh comments should there be any dramas out on circuit. As we move on to the white flag lap, 0.8 of a second separates the top two. It looks like it's going to be all right for Halliburton. This is the closest battle, Castles versus Friedrich, but Castles hanging on into Andretti hairpin, and beyond that, there's really not many overtaking spots around this track.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so tough to overtake around here. You've really got to just try and make your moves early on in the race when the tyres are cold and there are more opportunities opening up. But I tell you what, Kane Halliburton, he's not got this done yet. Lopez is all over the back of him. If this is Kane Halliburton managing it, he's incredibly relaxed because Lopez all over his rear bumper now as they come into the penultimate corner and down towards the final corner. I think Lopez might even be close to even have a look here.
Oh, I think he was trying to put the race leader off, but there was no mistakes from Kane Halliburton. He won at Interlagos and he takes his second race win of the season at Laguna Seca. Halliburton back up on the top step. Lopez finishes in second, keeps up his 100% podium record this season. Ming finishes in third, with Calvo a very close fourth. Nice result for Krolic there to hang on to sixth, and Castles was able to hold off Friedrich in the end. The storming through was Friedrich, but it is the number 15 car who takes that 8th place. Fusini, after a mistake at the third corner, he'll be, should be quite grateful for 11th place, considering the amount of damage on that car. Sam Sanders, a nice drive through. Woodward must have had an issue near the end, almost caught by Fadder right at the finish. And Verlind rapidly catching up to Luis. Verlind's had a few offs, and after winning last time at Philippine, it'll be a bit annoyed with this one. Probably one of his drop weeks. He finishes in 19th place there. A real nice tactical race, a total opposite of what we saw at Phillip Island, Pete, because it really does seem like actually being close to the driver ahead was a disadvantage around this track, rather than being what usually is an advantage.
Indeed, yeah, it really was a problem for a few of the drivers out there, and it's typical Laguna Seca. It's really, even the motorcycle racing and the MotoGP, the so difficult to overtake on motorcycles. So with the cars, it is even more so. But you really saw Kane Halliburton. He made the difference on that opening lap on the cold tyres from a standing start, and that's why he's our winner today.
Yep, and beats Lopez by quarter of a second. One of the closest finishes this season, even though that just seems to be something that Kane does. Leave a bit more of a gap, though, next time, Kane, because that was a bit too close for comfort. Kike Ming finishes in third place, as Danny Calvo, Yone Kainen, Cedric Krolic, Paul Crabb, Ant Castles, Andreas Friedrich, and Michael Reinhardt. Andrea Fusini finished in 11th place, then Sam Sanders, Robert Woodward, Daniele Fadder, Dennis Kyriakopoulos, Eric Hanoi, Johannes Hesterman, Cesar Luis, Peter Verlind, Filippo Golin, Erend Barber, Ruben Rodriguez, and John Aldridge in 23rd place. I'm really pleased with that pronunciation, I must say. I'm not boasting at all, but considering how good the grid for Silverstone was, that is an improvement. Quick shout out to one of our supporters for this stream, SDK Gaming, and the overlay that we've been showing for you for this entire meeting is available via SDK Gaming. That is one of the default overlays, so you can download the app and you can have it up on your screen. It's brilliant heads-up display whilst you're racing. It's fantastic for streaming and any broadcasting that you want to do as well. You've got a fuel calculator and it's all really well laid out. You can customize it however you want, move bits around. It is some fantastic kit, so go to SDK Gaming for more info on that. We're going to have a chat with a couple of our drivers now. First up, we're going to have a chat with our second place man, Pablo Lopez. Congratulations, Pablo. It's another podium for you. I've got to ask, in those closing stages, did you think you had a chance against Kane? Because he was, the gap was pretty small by the end.
I think after my mistake, he just was keeping it safe, and I was faster, but he kept the pace enough for not having a chance myself. But it was a freaking epic race. I mean, really tense with Kane, and I am really enjoying racing against him. Hats off for his win. He did the perfect race, no mistakes. In the race before, he did a mistake. Now in this race, I do a mistake. So we are even on those, but the race that counts is this one. So I need to just get a little bit better than him on the next one.
Talk us through qualifying because you seem to put in a really good first lap. I think you were up in P2 after your first lap. Most other drivers improved, but I didn't see you improve. Was there a little bit more on the table?
Uh, the first lap,
What was your first lap your fastest, or was it your second lap?
my fastest lap was the seventh lap.
Oh, I mean in qualifying.
Ah, no, in qualifying, I did an off track on second lap, so I didn't put a time on second lap. I failed.
Aha, yes, and yeah, that put you in fourth place on the grid. But
Yeah.
then it was a real nice start. What was it like following Kane out there? I mean, we usually see the slipstream very powerful, but was the slipstream more powerful than like than the wake behind him, or kind of was it an advantage to be behind a driver, or did you feel like you were actually losing time behind Kane because of the turbulent air?
Here's you had to back off a little bit more, but I think in after turn 6 before the cork screw, and in after turn 4 you can get a little bit of a draft, and also on main straight, but it's not too much. I mean, will not make you overtake or anything, but steady, if you don't have mistakes, will make you get closer and closer if you have the same pace, and we do. And I was getting closer and closer till I did the mistake, and hats off to him. And just nothing to say. It's amazing to have these races these Friday nights. I really enjoy the radical nowadays.
Absolutely. Next time we head to Zandvoort. When was the last time you went there in this car?
Yesterday, because I did the data pack for next, but it's a nice track with a nice flow. Should be a good battles as well. A little bit more battle friendly than Laguna, I think, but still nice track. No, not that draft fest, which I don't really enjoy.
Yeah, it should be. It'll be nice to visit that Zandvoort. It's an absolute classic, based in Europe. Is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to, Pablo?
Shout out Ruben Rodriguez, who crashed today, and also Cesar, both of my teammates that joined it today. So it's nice to have them here. And also hats off to Kane today again.
Awesome. Well, thanks for having a chat with us, Pablo, and best of luck for next week.
Thank you. Keep it up.
Pablo Lopez, their car number one, finishing in second place tonight. Peter, I think we have Eric Hanoi in for a chat.
We do indeed. Eric, welcome to the Apex Racing TV commentary box. How was your day out there in the Californian desert?
Yeah, well, actually, I'm in the Norwegian winter, so we go to the Californian desert, actually. So I just thought it might be good for you guys to talk to someone who's actually human and not an alien. So P16 for me today. I came P6 last week at Phillip Island, but this track is so difficult. I just can't get the speed here. So, well, it's a hard track.
It really is difficult. I think one of the hardest we go to in the season. Now, of course, Laguna Seca is a track that's well, all of us sim racers and digital racers known so well. I mean, where did you first go try this circuit? Sam and I were saying that it was Gran Turismo when we first drove this circuit.
I don't remember if I actually drove it on Assetto Corsa, but I've driven it a lot on iRacing, and in some cars it's pretty okay, but actually in the Radical, I feel like it's I don't know exactly when to push hard the throttle. If you do it too early, you miss the apex. If you do it too late, you're missing speed, and also before the corkscrew, the braking area before the corkscrew, it's just I think I'm going to die every time I come there. So, well, it's a tough track and well deserved to the podiums.
Certainly is. We're off to another sandy track. We're off to Zandvoort next week in Holland by the Dutch seaside. Now you get some fantastic fried fish down by the coast. It's a shame that we'll not get that in the virtual world. But Zandvoort, a track which you enjoy or not?
Yeah, definitely. I have a lot of victories there, and I really like it. Too bad that iRacing hasn't upgraded it with the new last turn, But okay, I guess we will take what it will be, and I'm aiming for a top 10 next week, hopefully.
We heard it here first. Eric and I going for the top 10. We're looking forward to it. Eric, before we let you go, who would you like to shout out to here on Apex Racing TV?
Sorry, say again. I didn't quite catch that.
Who would you like while you're live on Apex Racing TV, who would you like to give a shout out to or a hello to?
Yeah, I want to give a shout out to my teammates in Team Bergen, one of the best Norwegian teams. These guys, my teammates, are really fast, and they are going for the Daytona 24 hours next weekend. So a cheer for them.
Well, we wish you all the very best at Team Bergen, and thanks so much for coming to chat to us, and good luck at Zandvoort next week.
Thank you.
Eric Hanoi then, finishing in 16th place tonight. Currently no more drives, and just a reminder, we say it most weeks. Come have a chat with us after this, wherever you finish, as long as you are in the top split. Click on the link in the description for our Apex Racing TV Discord server, and then you can jump in, and then you can sit in the interview waiting area. And if we want to have a chat with you, which we probably will do, we'll jack you up and we can have a chat. So if you're maybe Joe watching this back on replay, certainly do that for next time. Yeah, of course, Zandvoort next up, Peter. I know Eric was saying that he'd quite like the circuit updated. I quite like the old version of it. It feels proper old school. I think the new circuit feels a bit more like a GP track. The old circuit feels like almost like a Brands Hatch or a Alton Park level circuit. The walls are so close to the edge of the circuit, and there's just tire barriers. Covering concrete walls. So I'm quite pleased that we've still got the old version without too much of the banking.
Indeed, yeah, me too. I have to agree with you. Zandvoort is one of those really, really special places, and there's such a great racing heritage in the Netherlands. Of course, right now we've got Max Verstappen, one of the most exciting drivers in the world, and of course, very, very good in the sim racing world as well. But when you look back to guys like Gijs van Lennep, who won the last ever Targa Florio in 1973, won Le Mans twice, Jan Lammers, Jeroen Bleekemolen. I mean, there's a long list of top drivers who come from the Netherlands, and a lot of them would have started their career at Zandvoort, and it was really revered by a lot of the drivers. Jim Clark loved Zandvoort. He won there 4 times, won by over a lap once there, in fact.
Yeah, if anyone's got some spare time, go on racecircuits.info, I think it's called, and you can see the old layout, and there's some good footage as well. I think the film Grand Prix, I think that's what it was called. I think did some footage around the old Zandvoort, so there's some pretty cool onboards from kind of the 60s of the old layout, and it is remarkable to kind of see the cars a lap around there. Quite a few edits over time, but no, I'm pleased that we're going to be visiting kind of the 1980s circuit next time out. Of course, another big thanks to all of the supporters for this stream. Apex Racing Academy doing some brilliant data packs. Also, VRS Virtual Driving School, who is entwined with Apex Racing Academy. Thanks to them. Also, SDK Gaming, who provide a fantastic overlay. Certainly check out all of that. There should be some links in the description for all of them. We'll be back, obviously, for the week 6 of the Radical Racing Challenge next week. And that will, of course, be at Circuit Zandvoort, one of the absolute classics in world motorsports. We'll see you back for that one. But for now, from myself, Sam Fitzpatrick, from Peter Mackay, and from Mark Tranter, it is another race win for Kane Halliburton, who will take the spoils in the Netherlands. See you next week.
Virtual Racing School was developed to provide support to the next generation of sim racers. No matter if you're a rookie or veteran or what car or track you'll be racing, our goal is to provide training every step of the way. We found that iRacing can be quite difficult without proper training. There needed to be a way to prepare for on-track racing. With VRS, you can literally learn from the best sim racers in the world, including 4-time NASCAR iRacing World Champion Ray Alfala.
And Ray Alfala is a 4-time champion of the NASCAR Peak Antifreeze iRacing Series.
3-time iRacing Grand Prix World Champion Martin Kroenke.
Martin Kroenke becomes a 3-time world champion.
Rallycross World Champion Mitchell de Jong.
Mitchell de Jong is now champion for the iRacing Rallycross World Championship Series.
And many other top sim racers. Data packs include everything you need to start learning. Our World Championship coaches create the data packs by setting a hot lap or a series of fast laps for you to compare, analyze, and replicate. Data packs also include a tutorial where the coach points out techniques they use to hit the fast lap. This gives you access to the latest driving techniques and setups before you even hit the track. Sign up for a free account and download the VRS telemetry logger. With this application running seamlessly in the background, your laps automatically start syncing to the VRS website. From there, you can analyze and compare 2 laps of your choice, whether it's your data, the coaches, or your teammates. VRS will automatically target improvement opportunities so you can get up to speed even faster. VRS also makes it easy for you to request and schedule one-on-one or group coaching sessions. These sessions can range from 30 to 90 minutes, and you can select the car, track, and setup combination of your choice. Visit virtualracingschool.com today to sign up and get started.